This is McFly Angler.
And it starts now.
To start, we will need a longer shank nymph hook, like these Risen Barbless 9231s, and today I'm using a size 14. We will also need a brass bead, and today I will be using the Risen Gold bead in size 2.8mm. Best way to put the bead on the hook is keep it in your hand, and then bring the hook point to it. Easy as that. Place the hook and bead securely in your vise. For a little more weight, let's put a spool of 0.015 size lead wire on a bobbin holder. I am going to add 8 wraps, but you can add more or less depending on your needs. Push the lead wraps up into the bead to stabilize it. For thread, I like this Vivas 10/0, and today I'm using brown. Start your thread right behind the lead wraps and snip or break off your thread. By the way, I think it's important to note here, a fly like this benefits from a super fine point scissor like these spring scissors from Risen Fly. Okay, now that the thread is started, bring the thread up and through the lead wraps, and create sort of a dam behind the lead to keep it from sliding down. Now bring your thread down to the start of the bend of the hook, and then create a bit of a thread bump slightly into the bend to help further flare out the buyout tail, and end with your thread right in front of that bump. Now we need some stripped goose buyouts. For now, we need a brown color, but I couldn't find the package for it. So pull off 2 buyouts, snip off the base for a cleaner tie-in, then rotate one of them so they splay outward and align the tips. Now measure out the tail to about 2/3 the length of the hook and transfer that measurement to your other hand. Push the buyouts down into the hook shank so they're on either side of the shank, and rotate them slightly towards you to compensate for the thread spinning them. Make 3 to 4 loose wraps, and then pinch the thread tightly with your fingers and tighten the wraps, and this will help keep them from spinning too much. Now bring your thread up the shank with a few tight wraps. Clip off the excess buyout at the start of the lead wraps, and then clean up the buyout butts. End with your thread a few wraps down from the lead. Now we need some gold wire. For this size fly, I find a brassy size gold wire works perfectly. Pull off a piece about this long, which should tie about 4 to 5 of these flies. Tie the wire in so it's started right behind the lead wraps, and keep it on the near side of the hook like so. Bring your thread down to the buyout tie-in, and then pull the wire down a bit to tie deeper into the buyout until they flare out like this. Now we need some peacock herl. Pull 2 strands off the hank and snip off the tips of them. Tie in the peacock so it extends up to the lead wire, and tie it down to just shy of the buyout tail, and then bring your thread up the hook shank and just behind the bead. Now we need some hackle pliers, and this style is what I like for this application. Grab the base of both herls, and then start twisting them and make a couple wraps. Now to make this fly more durable, let's brush on some super glue on the hook shank, and then twist the herl together again and make touching wraps up the hook shank. Twist more when it gets unraveled, and continue until you reach the bead. And then capture the herl with a couple wraps and trim off the waist. To rib this fly, let's take the wire we tied in and make open spiral wraps up the body like so. This will help hold the fragile herl better and give a nice rib effect. To make the legs, let's grab a hen saddle feather. Whiting is difficult to find right now, but I find it works best. However, other brands offer hen saddle hackle as well. Just make sure it's a brown color like this. We also want to make sure that we are grabbing the right size feather. Too small and the legs will be too short, but too long and they will be too large as well. Now to prepare the feather for tie-in. Strip off the fuzzies at the base of the feather on both sides of the stem, and then tie this feather on the side of the hook with a couple X wraps, and also capture the stem a bit like this. Then snip off the waist. Take this style of hackle plier and grab the tip of the feather with it. Then proceed to make 2 wraps with the hackle around the collar of the fly while pulling the fibers back with each wrap. Capture the feather and snip off the waist. Then pull back the fibers and wrap up on top of them slightly to angle them rearward. Now let's cut off the top of the fibers like this to make a flat top surface for the white biots to sit on. Now for the white biots I showed earlier. You want to pull off 2 biots at the base of the strip. Now up towards the top of the strip you can see the biots get too thin. Snip off the base of the biots to make them easier to work with. Now lay 1 biot on top of the fly at an angle with the tip extending back to about the start of the biot tail. Place your finger on top to hold it into place, and then slide your scissors under it until you're sitting right behind the bead, and then snip off the biot here. Make a couple wraps to hold this biot into place, and then grab the other biot and do the same thing with the angle opposite. And then whip finish your fly. Now these kind of rotated on me a bit, so I'm using my thumb to rotate them back and make them even on top. To ensure everything stays put and make the fly more durable, I find the Solarez Ultra Thin resin to be invaluable. Just paint a little on the whip finish and then cure it hard with your UV light. And there we have it, the fly is now finished. Now this pattern has been around for a long time and doesn't seem to specifically mimic any bug species, but it's more of a generalized pattern that just seems to work. I mean, everyone I know who has fished these has had success at one time or another, and a few of these should definitely hold some space in every nymphing fly fisherman's box. Let me know in the comment section how this fly has worked for you in the past, and what variations of it you tie to increase your chances of success. As you all know, I have gotten you all discounts from both www.risenfly.com and www.dooliesflyfishing.com. Doolies offers great prices on all of the name brand fly tying materials, and Risen Fly manufactures their own hooks, rods, reels, and other gear for fly fishing. Their products are top quality, and best of all, they are priced very reasonably. Not only are the prices at these 2 shops great, but like I said, they are offering all of my subscribers a discount. So use McFly at checkout when ordering from either of these shops, and you will get an additional 15% off of their already great prices. I want to also thank all of my Patreons who support me. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support this channel and also get some great perks like early access to my videos, participate in live streams, and more. So go to www.patreon.com/McFly Angler to sign up today. I also thank all of you who share all my videos with your friends and your continued support by hitting the like buttons and subscribing. Thank you for making these videos possible. I will see you on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.